I've never seen it.
Today, Jesse Joyce, joining us, has never seen Avatar.
That's right. Either of them.
Neither.
Neither
Navatar lore, nor. You've never seen, we just did Titanic. Now we're doing Avatar. We've got a real Cameron-esque gazebo is what I'm calling it. We've done these, but
this is Avatar, the one with the blue aliens, not Avatar Way of the Airbender thing that M. Night Shyamalan made into a movie.
Think it's both.
It's both.
Like it might as well
that would be a great
to me.
mashup.
You know what I mean?
I've never seen Avatar.
So I don't know the difference. I just whatever. It just passed me by and I didn't give a shit.
And there's subtitles also made like there's Last Airbender and then Way of the Water. It sounds like they're doing elemental bullshit.
It really does. It'll be like Avatar through the Earth's edge. So you haven't. We're also joined by Jono, Zalay, who I'm just going to assume has seen one of the Avatar movies.
I've seen both.
Ooh.
Okay. Have you seen them, Kyle?
First one.
Okay.
I never got around to the second one.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's probably seen the first one through all the movies it's ripped off from.
Sure.
But, you know, I don't want to...
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Field of Dreams.
That's one of my core problems with with the Avatars, is that they've been seen probably collectively by half the Earth, 3 billion people over the, whatever. Everybody saw these fucking movies. No one has ever quoted a single line to me. Like there is zero quotable lines from Avatar. You know what I mean?
It really is one of the largest, I would say, cultural successes, like as far as numbers wise, to have no sticking power.
None. Like there's no, like I've never seen anybody parody it. Like I've never seen...
all of Avatar was season 6 of Game of Thrones, where we're just like, we all watched it.
I know there's no cultural like touchstone reference. Like, even like Armageddon, if you didn't see that, that there's an Aerosmith song attached to it.
Yeah.
Everybody's heard that. Or like,
and it's like there's fun
Christina
to be
Aguilera
had.
Never sang about the Avatars or whatever the fuck they are. Like, you know what I mean? There's nothing... Like,
wasn't that Moulin Rouge? Was that for Avatar?
Yeah, it just
Voulez-vous coucher? Why are you blue?
Yeah,
it was just people just would talk about how neat the flying in your face special effects are. Like,
it was pretty neat.
But it seems like there's no script. Like, there's nothing.
Yeah,
is there a story to hook onto?
It's almost a Universal Studios ride, I guess.
Yeah, that's what somebody described it to me. Actually, is like it did feel more like an amusement park ride to them. So, But anyway, it was made like but I was able to pull, like I wrote for the Oscars this past year and never saw it and was able to.
And it was at them.
But that was the point. Yeah, you could like cobble jokes about it without having fucking seen it because it doesn't matter. Because like it doesn't matter if you've seen it or not,
You're lucky they gave you a job instead of AI doing all the special effects for the Oscars.
They're
coming for your Oscars jobs too, Jesse.
Oh man, I might have to when we take a break have ChatGPT write me some jokes about Avatar: The Way of the Water.
Don't teach it.
That's true.
I refuse. I've never been on AI one time, and I refuse to do it because I don't want it to learn from me.
We did an episode of this podcast written by the robot,
right?
And it knew frequent guests, and that was a lot because it's just pulling from. Honestly, it's probably just pulling from the descriptions of my episodes, not actually the content. And it's just something like, we are here and there is a Dave Ross who has never seen any Saw movie. Dave, what is Saw? Saw is, there is the death. That is Dave Ross for everybody. And I'm like, God, it's fucking funnier than me.
Right,
it's maybe not better.
But the more frequently you're asking it questions with a proper sentence structure and everything, you're teaching it to defeat us.
ChatGPT. Who's got a bigger dick than me?
Right. And for some reason I was just like, here's my credit card number in case. Just throw that in there just so it's stored somewhere. I want that on the grid, very much on the grid. So we'll do your script here, and then we'll talk about writing jokes for about a movie you've never seen.
Sure.
And you can do all the jokes you've ever written here just for John. Not even about this. A comedian's dream, performing for 2 quiet people.
Right.
So cast this up however you would like to. We'll have you do the stage directions and everything.
There's more roles. So...
and we can double or triple or oh my god! And also, if you would like, you can reveal you don't have to cast it now. You can cast them right when they appear in the scene. If it's like a reveal or something like that.
Yeah.
If you don't want to spoil or anything.
Wait, what? Oh, like
if you don't want to spoil a character now, you can cast it when we get to it.
Yeah. Okay. So how about Jono can do all the stage directions.
Ooh.
Right.
Okay.
And then You and I will do the beloved old man celebrity VO at the top. And then you and I can each do the different, we'll just, whenever two people are talking, we'll just switch.
Okay,
you know? So,
perfect.
Okay,
I assume they all get like introduced.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Great. So. Oh wow! Look, this is one of the more fun flip throughs I've had.
Oh yeah,
I have not read it yet, but I have flipped through to see the characters coming in.
Okay,
and we're in for a treat.
Oh, thanks. Neat.
All right. So whenever you're ready.
All right. Exterior space, outer space.
All right, John, I want to give you... Yeah, thank you. I was going to say go back and actually get the stage directions.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill the integrity of this podcast.
This isn't just a floor space. It's outer space.
Yeah. There's a lot of bolded stage direction, too, that requires your emphasis.
Yeah. Exterior, outer space. Day? How can you tell, right? A galaxy swirls in the cosmos. We are rapidly pulled into it. Blazing stars and peculiar planets whiz by as we traverse this cluttered galaxy.
This is the beloved old man celebrity VO. Just anybody that
you got to get one of them.
A Brian Cox or a Charlton Heston or Morgan Freeman, any of them, right? Yeah. Robert Redford, perhaps.
Ed Asner.
Space. More fantastical than you could ever imagine. Quadrillions of planets possessing the potential to support squadrillions of possibilities for sentient life. In this film franchise, for which we've planned at least 252,000 sequels, we'll visit each one. But for now, let's focus our attention on the one before you.
A gleaming blue-green planet comes into focus. The camera slows whilst it spins. We hold on this shot for 11 minutes.
Welcome to Avatu. Prepare yourself for an experience that will defy your senses. Strap in for an experience so revolutionary your mind may break and will never be the same. Forget everything you've ever known about life in the universe, for Avatu is a planet so freakishly bizarre, so purely alien, so outlandish and utterly wondrous, so utterly otherworldly.
We're moving again, fast, rushing through Avatu's outer atmosphere, and now a break in the clouds. The surface comes into the view. Blue oceans and continental land masses of green and brown. They're shaped slightly differently, but this might as well be Earth.
For example, it resembles Earth in virtually every way.
The camera zooms down to the planet's crust, soaring over oceans, mountains, through forests, etc.
Turbulent seas and rushing rivers and green forests, practically a facsimile of our planet. So you'd think, but get this, the flowers have teeth!
Oh, yeah, it's double-sided, that's right. An orchid leaps off the screen and snaps at the viewers.
There it is.
And the inhabitants are slightly taller than people. But try to wrap your mind around the fact that these bipedal creatures are blue. And they may have one less finger on each hand. Only the unfathomable mind of pure, unadulterated genius could manifest such a remarkably exotic world beyond human comprehension. So prepare yourself, if you dare, strap in, and make sure you're wearing your patented Lightstorm 3-dimensional eye lenses. Oh, and don't forget to duck when a fish with 3 eyes comes flying at your face. That's right, I said 3 eyes.
Narrator's voice fades off. Exterior, tropical rainforest floor, day. A cacophony of unfamiliar coos, hoots, and squawks echo beneath the canopy. As a 2-headed centipede with 100 weird genie shoes jingles over a fur.
That was fun. Like you were like, there's no way I'm right in what I'm reading.
These words don't make sense together. But that's what happens on Avatu. Then, disaster. One of its shoes is caught in a dew-glistened spiderweb. The centipede struggles vainly. All seems lost. But, gently, a long 4-fingered hand emancipates the ensnared dicephalous, God, you bastard, a word that means 2-headed arthropod. Note the hand is blue. The camera rises to reveal the hand's owner. Title card.
Oh, how about I'll do the title cards too. Yeah. Title card, remove Lightstorm 3D glasses. Please put on macro-illuminated tempered Generation 2 racquetball goggles.
A resplendent, slender blue man, early 30s, think Croatian basketball League power forward. This is Kevin, spelled K-E-V apostrophe I-N. Most importantly, he's blue. Kevin, the chieftain of the avatars. The wise but primitive tribal creatures who inhabit these forests.
Note, this scene will cost approximately $19 billion.
Brother Centipede, be on your way. I'm sure you do the same for me. For we inhabitants of Avatu are all harmonious brethren and children of the great God of the universe, James Camarine.
A bright red fuzzy fruit sails into view and splats against Kevin's back. Watch out, viewers. The fruit's red nectar squirts right at you.
Oh, do you want to be?
Oh, yeah. The projectile was thrown by Kevin's younger brother, Kareem Jabbar. 27, cynical, a goof-off, also blue. He carries a basket half filled with the fuzzy fruits.
Come on, Slowpoke, we got to get these filled with galubula berries before second sunset.
Oh, I see. So you want to make it a competition now. Race you to the upside-down waterfall.
Playfully, they begin to run, striding effortlessly over the leaf litter. Look out, viewer! Leaves in your face! Suddenly, the ground begins to tremble. A sickening mechanical whirring noise pierces the serenity. The tree canopy blows violently. Kevin and Kareem Jabbar stop dead in their tracks. The brothers shield their eyes as space barge rumbles overhead. With hydraulic hiss, the barge touches down in a clearing.
Title card, remove racquetball goggles immediately. Please apply night vision trinocular bifocals. Set the retinoscope between red and green. You have 3 seconds.
I love giving the audience work.
That's what Avatar feels like.
It is. It also does feel like a ride. Like I genuinely feel like the narration and goggles are ride driven. Exterior, forest clearing, dusks.
Dusks. There's more than one dusk because there's more than one sun, right?
Oh, yeah.
Get it?
We get it.
Yeah.
The viewer gets it. We explained it to them thrice now. Kevin and Kareem Jabbar hide themselves in the twisted roots of the galubula tree. They watch with trepidation as the door of the strange ship moans open like the mouth of a terrible beast. Cautiously outstep 2 bipedal creatures in orange space suits and gleaming mirrored helmets. Their form is human and they appear to be acclimating themselves to this alien atmosphere.
Note, to achieve the uncertain gravitational adjustment our astronauts need to convey in this moment, this scene will be shot on Earth's moon at great expense. The soundstage is currently being built in the Kepler crater on the lunar surface and will be ready for production in approximately 23 years. A total of 6 infants have been adopted by Lightstorm Entertainment and are being raised and rigorously trained for the specific purpose of acting in this scene. It is the hope and calculated assumption of the producers that at least 2 of these infants will survive the training and reach adulthood to accomplish this shot. If fewer survive, we will adjust the script accordingly on the day.
They also did this for Boyhood.
Yeah.
It's exterior, beneath the galubula tree, dusks.
What are they?
Humans. A clever race of ape creatures who destroyed their own world and now seek another.
Exterior, the barge door, dusks. Slowly, the bipedal space travelers remove their helmets. They are Earthmen, Charles and Barkley. Charles and Barkley, both 23, both obviously from Long Island, New York, take their first damp breaths of Avatu humidity.
Whoa, get a load of this fucking place.
Smells like a goddamn urinal cake out here.
Exterior, beneath the galubula tree, dusks.
What is urinal cake?
Probably a delicacy from their world.
Sounds delicious. Note, in this moment, the patented theatrical aromanators deploy, spraying 6.12 million particulates of diffused urinal cake musk throughout the theater.
Exterior, the barge, dusks.
Look, let's just do what we came to do and get the hell out of here.
All right, already. Chucky, go ahead and open the garbage bay.
Chuck Charles.
Stage directions is very familiar.
Charles hits a button and the heavy rear cargo door falls open, spilling tons of cardboard, paper, and plastic refuse. Heads up, viewer, the greasy pizza box and an empty corn chowder can whiz right past you.
Isn't it hilarious? All the people back home on Earth think that when they throw this shit into little blue cans, that it's actually getting recycled.
Yeah, recycling. I mean, how the fuck is that supposed to happen? Sure, lady, toss a broken plastic hanger in your bin. We take it to some magic factory and it turns it into Tupperware. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Yeah, they probably think they're pretty fucking. They probably be pretty fucking annoyed. No, we're just sailing around the universe, dumping empty Mountain Dew bottles on any planet we find.
Exterior, beneath the globula tree, dusks. Furious, Kari stands to confront these galactic litter bugs.
Outrageous.
Exterior, the barge, dusks. Barclay squints toward the tree line.
Yo, you hear something?
Exterior, beneath the globula tree, dusks. Just before he's seen, Kari is yanked back down by his brother.
No, Kari, not like this. We must convene the Council of Avatars. Tell them what we have seen here. And prepare for war.
Tribal drumming kicks in. The brothers retreat silently back into the forest.
Title card, remove bifocals now. You have 5 seconds to quickly reach under your seat. Put on and buckle flame retardant Nomex jacket. Apply your impact resistant safety glasses first before assisting others. 3, 2, 1. Cue magnesium flash pots. Title Avatar. Thanks, guys.
If you had been there, that submarine at the Titanic would have been fine.
Did you ever see how James Cameron found out about 9/11?
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a video of it.
Oh, it's like a combination of everything that I think about most of the time.
It's
what
amazing.
happened?
He missed 9/11 because he was in a little submarine.
His little submarine.
Oh,
at the bottom
at the bottom of the
sea.
ocean?
Yeah.
He was
Oh
during
my
9/11.
God.
And then he resurfaces. And they're like his crew, like people on the surface are like, he made it. And then Bill Paxton has to like put an arm on his shoulder and go, Jim, something happened at the World Trade Center. And he has to like tell him.
Yeah.
And
Oh
so
my
you get to
God.
watch like dripping wet James Cameron like learn about 9/11 like after returning from the like he has the bends and everything probably.
Let me go back down.
Yeah.
It's not safe here
Let
on
me
surface
see what I can
world.
do.
Half of the time I've gone in the Mariana Trench, a terrorist attack has hit the World Trade Center. The numbers are out of control. The sample size is small.
Oh, boy.
I do think if you, as far as alibis,
Oh yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, you're right.
I'm a mile down is rare.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean-
airtight. You could say. Get it? Come on, he's in a submarine.
That was
guys.
part of the problem with the most recent one.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Maybe it
weird.
was too airtight.
Oh, you know, I went to this place recently that was amazing. It's called the Adventurers Club of Los Angeles, right? And it's just the members, like you have to, in order to be a member, you have to have like climbed Mount Everest or some shit like that, you know?
Okay.
But they have an open night every Thursday and you can go and then like listen to a talk from somebody who did some interesting shit or whatever. But you sit there and you have dinner and it's like a wedding, right? You just join this like
Sure.
table of like just random people who are members of this club. And one of the guys, what he does for a living is like he is a treasure diver on like, you know, pirate ships and shit
Okay.
like that, right?
Yeah.
So he's been in those submarines before. And he says that like we kind of were talking about that. And he says the hazing running joke you do with newbies is it gets all drippy and condensation-y, right?
Oh,
because
right,
when you're
right.
down there in one of those little submarines,
Sure.
because of just the carbon,
Atmosphere,
because of your
pressure.
breathing,
Yeah.
and they will always see the water, like point to the water on the ceiling, be like, "Oh fuck!" And then that makes the people
Pretend it's just a small
the person
leak.
in their
Oh,
first.
that's so fun.
yeah. So
Oh, I bet that one wasn't. It was funny at first.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "No, but seriously, there's probably.
Yeah.
Oh, he's pranking us again.
Yeah,
Do that
yeah.
Rubik's cube, son."
yeah, yeah, it's veteran small submarine humor.
We niche.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna say they have like an open mic night for like events where you can come like tell them something you did and they'll let you know if it was like great. Like, there's a really big hill by my parents' house, and they're just like all like yawning or like giving you the light.
There was a guy who did that though. There was like another person who came who
Like, didn't have a good adventure.
No, but he was like desperately seeking to become. He was like trying too hard to like want to become a member of it. So there was a time where it was like, has anybody? They ask, like, has anybody been on a recent adventure? And then, like, his hand immediately shot up, and he was like, well, I once traversed Africa. Let me tell you about the time. If you want to know more about the time somebody put an AK-47 in my face, you can ask me later. Like, he was just so desperate to, like...
Wow.
Yeah, we've all been to Texas, man.
Yeah. And it was like, come on, dude. Like, fucking...
We've all been pulled over.
Yeah, don't show your cards at the Adventurers Club so quickly. You know what I mean? It felt desperate. You know? These people are adventurers. Don't be lame
People have
around
gold
them.
bars in their shoes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
man. Where? I mean, I want to know, where is it?
Oh, it's fucking fascinating. It's in Lincoln Heights.
You have to give them the map
And-
first. Jeez.
Right, this is great.
Well, it's like kind of a secret location. I mean, it's like you can find it on the internet. It's not like a secret, but it's just above a drugstore and there's no signage at all. So you have to like know to go there. And it's just like every other business on that street is just like a nail salon or like a did you crack your iPhone
Just
store?
like strip
You know
mall
what I mean?
stuff.
Just like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's this club upstairs that's been around for like 100 years and like
Wow. That's like
Buzz Aldrin
skipping
spoke there.
gentrifying something.
it's pretty wild. Anyway.
Well, I do know Buzz Aldrin. He and I go way back.
You ever met him?
Yes.
Yeah?
I mean, I have like
was
a
he
long stand-up
mean
bit
to
about
you?
meeting him. No, he was not.
Oh, yeah?
I taught him how to use his new iPad when I worked at the Apple store.
Oh, wow.
He had broken an iPad, and he came in, and I watched Buzz Aldrin play with an iPad. And the joke is that he told me it was the most amazing thing he'd ever seen. And I just sort of like stared at him for a minute.
That's incredible.
Yours was like an award show, right?
It was the Guys' Choice Awards.
Yeah.
And I wrote for the Guys' Choice. Do you remember those existing? It was on Spike TV.
Oh, man.
And it was
Oh,
this
yeah.
thing where they would like reverse engineer an award. They would just like throw a bunch of money at some like dude celebrity.
Yeah.
And get him to come. And then they would like just, and then we, the writers, would have to like come up with some fucking thing to give. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
so
They're like, we've got Buzz Aldrin. What can he win?
kind of, yeah, exactly, right? And so it was like, oh, great, we got the Buzz Aldrin's kind of a badass. That's cool, or whatever. Then the producers booked Felix Baumgartner. You remember who that guy is?
Fell from the Red Bull thing?
That fucking guy. Yeah, they just fell from a balloon.
Gravity Man?
Yeah, and the producers, in their infinite wisdom, decided that Buzz should give that guy the award. He should be the presenter to that guy, and they wanted to call it
that's so
the Next Great Leap Award. And like, I'm a huge history dork, and that like just fucking made my blood boil. I was just like shouting in the writers' room. I was like, it's not the Next Great Leap.
Right.
Like, you can't do like Buzz Aldrin's the reason you don't fucking speak Russian. You understand the difference? Like, this asshole fell out of a balloon. You see how it's not the same?
We actually decided to have Picasso give Photoshop autofill an
Yeah,
award for
right.
its ability
That's
to
right, exactly.
cover canvas.
That's what it felt like. And by the way, fucking Felix Baumgartner, they broke that record 3 years later. Some other guy, some Swede or whatever.
I mean, it's
just
really,
like,
really-
immediately broke his falling from a balloon record.
I mean, Jeff Bezos
So-
breaks it every other week.
yeah,
They shouldn't have told. He shouldn't have told anyone what the record was. He should have said he has it, and Guinness secretly knows. But once you give the height out, I mean, once they convert that to meters, it's nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I told Buzz Aldrin, I was like, hey, listen, Colonel Aldrin, like, they want you to do this thing. And like, just, it says that in the script. And just so like for rehearsal, but when the show is happening, just
Do whatever you want to do.
do whatever you want to do. Like, don't fucking say, because they said like what they wanted in the script was, so please welcome the man who took the next great leap for mankind. That's what they wanted him to say.
That's like
And
if
it was like so fucking insulting to me.
yeah.
What was the line he used instead?
Well, so then he played ball with what we said, and then when the show came around, he came out and grumpily goes, "So give it up for the guy who gave the next great leap for Red Bull." And it was pretty perfect. So, anyway.
I mean, that is really funny.
Yeah.
My recording stopped, and we're gonna take a quick break. Be right back.
What? We're not recording anymore?
No, mine stopped on my computer, but I have a backup running on the board.
Oh, look at
so
that.
I just don't need my computer. Everything of mine is breaking today.
Yeah.
and my computer just crashed.
What
boy.
the fuck, man?
But that's why the red record it backs up onto the board.
How smart of you.
Hey, we're back. I love talking about Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah.
I think I love when he punched that conspiracy theorist in the
man.
face. I think
I
about
love
that all
that
the
so
time.
much.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, his uncle was one of the curators at the Air and Space Museum in D.C. Mm-hmm. And I met him when I was in D.C. one time doing shows and went around the museum. I thought it was very cool.
Before or after the iPad thing?
This would have been Oh, I don't know.
Like, whatever time did you like mention? Oh, I've met you before. Did you do that?
Oh, no, I didn't meet Buzz Aldrin again.
Oh, okay. I see.
No. This was just, we're going around the museum, and I'm telling him about when I had met Buzz Aldrin working at the Apple Store in New York.
Yeah.
And then he tells me, he's like, oh, he's a problem here a lot. He doesn't mean it in like a bad way, but he's like, a lot of this stuff is his. Which is an insane thing for a museum to say.
Yeah.
And so he's like, Buzz will come in and take kids into the lander.
Wow.
Huh.
They're like, he'll come into the museum and touch everything because
Wow.
that's his hat.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
sure,
those are his shoes.
Yeah.
And he's like, if kids are interested, he will just take them into the exhibits.
Yeah.
And he's like, he drinks. This is presuming like what the guy is saying. And once this is now like third or fourth hand, but he's like, and sometimes if we're just having any sort of private event, Buzz will show up to give a speech at event for like best secretary organization.
Okay.
So he's like wedding crashing NASA
Exactly. He's not even he's wedding crashing events at NASA, and not all of them are NASA.
Right.
Like some of them are logistics, or you know what I mean, like the Smithsonian Services Award or something. And he shows up at
50th birthday.
Right, exactly. Someone's worked here long. There were a retirement party for someone,
Right,
and he's coming and just shitting on them for retiring,
Right.
or something.
Sure.
But he's just thinking of him, letting him like it's. I mean, he is a singular person at this point,
Certainly.
Yeah.
and there's nothing funnier than something in a museum being yours,
Yeah.
and which it probably legally is property of the United States government if it really comes. But like, are you going to be the security guard who pulls Buzz Aldrin off of the thing he sat in for a week?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And so he's just like, oh, he's like, we love him. Like, just like a tired man when I'm asking him about him. He's like, but he just comes in here and he will just he will let kids like pick everything up.
Not safe for children.
They should let the
children should not be in this.
No.
Anyone who's
It wasn't
Egyptian.
safe for them.
Yeah, right.
Anyone who's Egyptian should just be able to go in and touch things at the British Museum.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I
Just
agree with
like,
look,
they don't
I
give
mean,
it back. They just
if
like
you can get it out without anyone seeing, I think it should. I don't know if I've ever told this story on here before, but what I think is maybe the funniest thing I've ever done in comedy was I was doing a show in an elevator, and it was at there was an annex. I think it's a museum in New York. Maybe the MoMA does like a modern art once a year out on the west side of Manhattan, like pop-up thing, but it's a huge deal. I don't know enough about it to even know what it was entirely. But they like showcase some artists in warehouses, right? And they had the only elevator was a service elevator. And they were like, we would love stand-up comedians to perform in the corner of the elevator.
Oh no.
So when these people, Manhattan art people, get in, you surprise them with a set. And look, we've all done shows no one wanted to happen.
Yeah.
No one ever wants to accidentally see comedy. And so they get in the elevator, and I'm like on a little tiny like triangle stage in the corner with a mic and a red curtain behind me. Hey, what's up? They fucking hate it. They hate you.
Course.
Sometimes people would stand at 3 feet in front of me with their back to me.
Yeah.
And it's a huge elevator. It's bigger than this room. It's like, how you get stuff up a warehouse.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And so we keep it. They hate it. I'm trying to do bits. I'm like, what's everyone's favorite artist? And I'm 3. And I'd be like, Lisa Frank. And like, you know what I mean? Like, just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
No one likes it. So then I start going, what I think is a funny like idea. I'm like, hey, everybody, welcome to blah, blah, blah. I don't even, upstairs is completely interactive. One of the fun parts is the art is you can touch the art, you can move the art. Everything upstairs is part of one large exhibit about interacting with art. The security guards are actors. And I just keep giving the spiel for like probably 4 elevator rides, which is 50 people,
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, you get upstairs. It's like if you think something would look better by something else, that's part of it. You can't take anything. These are all art, but it is a large collective, interactive, physical exhibit. Think of it as one thing that you're helping to shape. And then I come down the elevator one time, the door opens, there's a security guard there with like the people who booked me, and he's just like, there's like, he's like, hey, I don't know what's happening, but everyone is touching paintings. So we're done with this, and we're gonna see. And I'm like, well, you're fired and you have to leave. And so then I got fired. But I'm like, that's like the most proud I've been of any comedy thing I've ever done. Is everyone
Good for you.
The most pretentious people getting in trouble for touching paintings.
Yes.
Yeah. And how delighted they probably were, like, "Ooh, that does sound interesting."
Imagine
Like,
what
it
you
doesn't
do-
sound interesting at all. Like,
Yeah.
why
Like,
would
if
you?
And then you know that
anybody-
they're just think the security guard is an actor, and they're just like, oh, okay, yes, I'll stop touching it.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at the UCB boy. Like,
Think about if you were in charge of the Met Gala, what you could get like celebrities and billionaires to wear.
oh yeah,
Just
right.
like the derelict campaign from Zoolander.
This year's,
just like
can't-
you have to be
right.
trash. Everyone has to wear banana
the
peel.
theme this year is invisible.
Yeah.
Invisible is smell. The theme this year is smell. It is.
It's
People will
shocking
go
to
along
me
with it.
What people don't know comedy isn't good for. You know what I mean? Like,
That probably wasn't my worst gig that week. Like,
Yeah,
if we're
yeah,
being
yeah.
honest, because at least that one they paid me $50.
yeah.
$1 for
think
every
they-
painting you ruined.
Right. And I'm sorry to the artist, but I really am not, because most like artists who I've really met who would have they are also like, we don't know why anyone's, but like they're like, we are all kind of just agreeing we like the thing.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's all fraudulent.
I mean,
as an
it's-
art history major,
Yeah.
it's all bullshit.
You pick the stuff you like, the stuff makes you feel something, and then eventually it's to hide tax money.
Do you know what? This is kind of along those lines. Do you know? I don't know if you know this about. I think this is a fascinating little just piece of trivia. But so, like, if you were to describe a Monet, like, what would be some descriptive words you would use to describe
Right,
the
like wet?
water lilies? Yeah, right?
Like blurry.
Exact blurry. Thank you. That's the word I was hoping you would say. Do you know why that is? Why they're blurry? Because Monet had cataracts very badly, and they got progressively worse throughout the 1880s. And so if you look at his paintings in the late 1880s, they're fucking blurrier because the man
That's so funny.
couldn't fucking see what he was painting. And then people, like somebody disparagingly wrote a critique of Monet and called it impressionism, because Monet can't paint a sunset. He can only paint an impression of a sunset. And then everybody else, all these like frauds and like phonies in the salon and stuff, were like, oh my God, that's amazing what he's doing. I'm going to paint like I have cataracts. And that's what started impressionism. Was a bunch of people painting like they had a fucking ocular handicap.
Isn't that how people in Spain have lisps? Is there
Because the Castilian. Just because one of the I think it was one of the kings of Spain spoke like this, and then everybody he made it a decree that everyone had to talk like this.
I love it. Nothing's real. It's all fake. I love it. I love looking. I love watching art stuff. I like seeing fraudulent art. Sometimes, like there's this. It's like a documentary about art forgery and how this gallery in New York spent like $100 million on a new what is his name? Pollock that no one had ever heard of,
Right?
And then they spent all this money on a new the squares.
Pete Mondrian?
No, sort of like blurry squares, modern. Anyways, I actually very much like them, and they're like, "Oh, we haven't seen a new one of these. We haven't seen a new one of these," and they're just like convinced themselves that they were real because they wanted them to be, but it was all just an old Chinese man, like in a garage, forging 10 different artists, and then everyone's like, "Oh, I don't want to buy this now," and you're like, "Oh, so you don't actually like it?" You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I think that makes it worth more. There's somewhere in between Banksy shredding his own stuff and this Chinese guy making art. I'm like, right in between there.
Yeah,
that's where the money is.
Yeah.
God, this is gonna really bother me until I figure out what that guy's name is. Rothko.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
And I'm like, these are like very forgible artists if you can convince.
Oh, yeah. Every 4-year-old's made a Jackson Pollock.
Right. Yeah. And I do think there's something I love Rothko. I don't know why. It just looks, I don't know, these sound panels are like 90% of the way to being one.
Yeah.
And I don't like Pollock, and I don't know why. And I think it's all just, you just pick a thing and you like the thing and it makes you feel something or whatever. Yeah. And maybe I saw it when I was sad one night and that's why I like it forever. I have no idea. But it's forgeable and I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, but you're a douchebag if you're like convinced that it's good because from...
I don't know if I've ever thought anything... I don't know if I like any of the art that I think is good. Yeah. I go to like the Huntington Gardens out here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Or I go to like the Met in New York and it's all... Victorian era or Renaissance era, I'm like, well, they're good.
Yeah.
But I'm tired of looking at like pale people in V-necks.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like objectively a talent driven creation. Mm-hmm. But some of it, like if he's not like eating his own son in half.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't find like just a painting of someone I don't find to be
I just
invoke anything in me.
Try to think of them as just doppelgangers of modern culture or whatever. It's like, oh, that one looks like Josh Gad.
They all look like Josh Gad.
Especially the women.
Yeah. The richer they were, the more they looked like Josh Gad then. Him or Olaf, ironically, you're looking at one of those. But like the stuff that I think I could mimic, I mean, I couldn't.
Right.
I don't have the patience to, let alone like any of that, to create a technique. I'm like, oh yeah, that stuff makes me feel something more than a really good painting of a guy I probably wouldn't have liked.
Think of like, as much as I like appreciate Basquiat, he must have been a handful to be around.
I'm just like, no one will still be listening.
Okay.
What,
this.
right now? This is
Maybe they will.
I thought the Monet anecdote was objectively
I love that.
It
was impressionistically interesting, I think. Well, yeah, but I never got to. I am not as smart as anyone who listens to this, so they might actually really enjoy this. But sure. I mean, because there's also a similar thing. This is like a leap of like, there are a lot of very objectively well-made movies that are not rewatchable. Like, I mean, I do think that, or like, I'm weirded out if like Breathless is your favorite movie, or like 8.5, or like something like that. Just like I'm weirded out by a stand-up who's like, Pryor's the one. Like if a stand-up's like 35 or younger, and they're like Pryor, and I'm like, I just don't quite believe it. I understand you could watch it and see how it did a thing.
I don't even know which either of those movies are. You said,
Richard Pryor.
No, I know Richard Pryor.
It's like Fellini and like it's like old movies. like film school movies. You know,
fuck that.
I don't know. I have a lot easier time believing someone when they tell me like their favorite movie is like The Goonies.
Sure, yeah, me too. I would rather hang out with somebody whose favorite movie is The Goonies for sure.
I just Shaft.
A Shaft in Africa. Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh yeah. That's a fun
movie.
That actually one does have a bunch of quotable lines, as opposed to Avatar, which has none.
None. Oh, I think this is kind of amusing. So I'm obsessed with the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, right? Because I know it to be the business diabolical, nefarious scam of some kind, and I cannot put my finger on how or why. But it is a theme restaurant that is completely devoted to this movie from 26 years ago.
Yeah.
Many of their patrons,
it is like almost a 30-year-old movie.
Yeah.
Next year.
Many of their patrons were not alive when this movie came out. And that would be fine if that was what it originally was, and then they've evolved, like the way that...
Like how like Disney adjusts rides from like Tower of Terror to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, or even like a company. Like, like Coca-Cola used to just make medicine, you know what I mean? Like that used to be in pharmacies, and then they're like, oh wait, this is just like a soft drink. And then they just like changed their marketing strategy, and they stopped, like they don't still make you buy it at a pharmacy. You know what I mean? Like, but the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company is fucking anchored to this goddamn theme. They will not. They do,
and it's not even a franchise. There's not even two of them.
It is one movie. It's so just arbitrarily absurd. Like it might like for our generation, it might as well just be like a McMillan and Wife restaurant or some shit like that. Like just some fucking art and. They play Forrest Gump trivia when you go there. They like ding a bell, and then they ask you questions like, how many generations did Lieutenant Dan or whatever, and then you get like a prize and they like make you give a fuck. And
and I'm sure if you work there, you have to know these answers to this trivia. Like exactly. I bet people can ask you things absurd. At the tables.
And none of the people who worked there were alive when this movie came out.
No.
And everyone's just fine with this movie. They're fine with it. And yet this restaurant forces you to get like, hey, have you gotten a chance to sit in Lieutenant Dan's wheelchair yet? Like, what the fuck are you doing? And the thing that is so upsetting to me is that they own somehow the most expensive pieces of real estate on the globe. And that is what
like
is
4,000 square feet in Times Square and Universal Studios.
The Santa Monica Pier, they have like the only restaurant. Fucking the Peak in Hong Kong is the most expensive place to own real estate on the globe, and they have a gigantic restaurant there.
Maybe they're a front for Mattress Firm.
What are they doing? Because it's not selling.
Yeah, that is actually
they're
wild.
a Long John Silver's is what they are.
Ooh,
but like, what?
I wish.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's essentially.
I would be there. But yeah, it is so. What is it offering?
Just it's fucking not a Long John Silver's food, exactly. And then there's a gift shop that has. Stuff. Life is like a box of chocolate shirts, very which much I've never seen anyone wear.
It is a lot like there's not the internet as well.
Yeah, it's a time
like
capsule.
I could probably get a Life is like a box of chocolates t-shirt online.
Surely.
Without having to pay $48 to park
markup
in the
also
Tyrannosaurus Rex lot.
Yes. Yeah.
And avoid the better things.
Fucking... And my whole point, too, is that Planet Hollywood failed.
Yeah.
And that was about every movie. You know what I mean? Like, if you weren't a fan of Remains of the Day, and like, there's the scarf Remains of the Day, you can turn around and there's Schwarzenegger's crossbow. And it's like, oh, neat. Like, whatever, there's other things for you. But this is festooned exclusively with scenes from Forrest Gump.
What I want to know is why is there not a Fast and Furious drive-through chain?
Yeah, see, sure. There's at least 10 of those movies.
Get a family meal at Fast and Furious.
Right.
There's enough of those, for sure.
Drift on in for sushi.
Yeah. Well, the whole reason I brought it up is because I like people who know me know that I have this thing about Bubba Gump, and so they will often take a picture of themselves outside one and text it to me. One of the guys who works on Kimmel, I worked for Kimmel. One of those guys, the directors, sent me a onesie for my newborn daughter that was from the fucking whatever. So
that's like you're keeping it open now. It's become this sort of like snake eats its own tail.
Yeah,
the gift shop is just novelties to send
irony out of spite.
Yeah, like I have probably been responsible for more sold merchandise in the gift shop. I've never seen anybody buy anything in there. So for Christmas, for the Secret Santa, this other writer is very funny, Jesse McLaren. He had me, and he got me like the deluxe gift basket from the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. You know,
that's great.
And so it comes with like a license plate and
right, and that's like a $600.
Yeah, it's expensive.
You got to invest in the restaurant. I think you're part owner.
It has like slippers that are Forrest Gump sneakers. You know what I mean? Just big, goofy. Right? It just got a bunch of stupid shit. And then it has the shrimp, which is their logo, which is their mascot. You ever seen that?
The smiling shrimp guy?
Yeah. This big pink
top
shrimp,
hat, right?
which is fucking infuriating because, no, your mascot is Forrest Gump. That's what you told me. You can't just add a second mascot.
They're just like pretending it's the action. It's not about the movie. It's that the movie is real life.
Yeah. So now there's a shrimp that's somehow representing the company too. And so, anyway, long story short, the most fascinating item in this basket is a hat. And the hat is just a black hat with white lettering, kind of in the style, it's just a black hat, white letters, and it says, "I gotta find Bubba." It's that quote, right? Which, like, what a fun.
What does that even?
Well, so
is
it's
that
a
the
quote.
line from the movie?
It's a quote from the movie, but this is
he's
what's
not
fascinating.
wearing a hat that says that.
No, but do you know what that quote is? When he says that, when Forrest Gump says, "I gotta find Bubba," do you know what's happening in that moment?
War?
Yeah, he's in Vietnam.
He finds Bubba a few seconds later with his fucking guts spilled out on a beach in Vietnam. You know what I mean? Like, that is like the darkest moment in that fucking movie.
Yeah, Bubba's not even alive when his restaurant exists.
Yeah, there's like so many adorable quotes from that movie. Like, Mom always said, whatever the fuck, you know, and then they choose for their hat, like, the moment that Forrest is about to find out that his best friend has been eviscerated on a beach. It's fucking crazy that anybody would wear that hat around. Like, that is, oh yeah, what's that from? Oh yeah, that's when Bubba.
You have to. It's like one of the few instances of yes, but that would exist. Is that from Forrest Gump? Yeah. Yes, but it's like, not the part you want it to be. I remember him
trying to stuff his own intestines back in. Right then,
we couldn't fit. I don't know whatever happened to that really nice man. His quote about John F. Kennedy that just was too big to fit on the hat. I can't. All I really want to think about is like the least famous movie that could support. Well, it might be that
a franchise
that could support this.
Yeah, for 30 years.
30 years, and it's busy.
Yeah,
I went to because I go sometimes out to the IMAX at Universal Studios to watch movies out there.
Okay,
so I'm always walking by the Bubba Gump.
Yeah,
it's always busy.
It is.
People are in there. Margaritaville, there's never anyone in there.
Look, full disclosure, I do go there. Right. Full disclosure, whatever. It's fine. I enjoy.
Look, there's a strike going on. People have time to do what they have time to do.
I enjoy that kind of food. I like fried seafood.
I like
it doesn't make sense to me, and I sit there just confounded the whole time I'm there.
I'm pretty sure Subway is based on the taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. The original, obviously, not the remake.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't have the Denzel footlong? Wasn't he in the remake? I can't remember.
It was like John Travolta.
Just as arbitrary. Yeah. Exactly as arbitrary.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to take another break. We'll be right back. All right. We did it. We're back. We didn't get to talk about too much about how you wrote jokes about Avatar in a more literal sense. Although I don't know how much we I don't really know the line of delving into some. It's fine to talk about previous jokes you wrote for a thing that already existed.
Sure. Yeah.
In a guild standpoint, right?
Oh, yeah. I used to always do that back in the day. I kind of got busy. I couldn't do it, but I used to always tweet out unused jokes. When
I just mean, there's no that kind of stuff. It's a weird thing to have a podcast about writing and talking about movies during a strike, and so I just want to be like,
Oh, you're saying like that this would run afoul of the guild? No,
I doubt it.
No way.
But I always want to stay within a comfort level. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like. So what is what's your favorite big studio? So what's your favorite thing about like Bob Iger's like physical appearance? No, if anyone has listened to this anytime since 145 days ago, they're pretty well set on where we stand about that. And so you wrote jokes about movie. I assume you hadn't seen all of the movies. Let's say you're like writing for an awards show.
Yeah.
And you had picked up enough about Avatar to just like.
Yeah, a bunch of movies. Like I kind of realized that early on that you don't like actually have to see the movies to like because the reality of it is that like if it's some obscure movie like what's that when To Leslie or whatever was or The Whale or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
No people are going to.
I would imagine most of your first thought jokes about The Whale you probably want to pass on.
Oh no, we did plenty of fat jokes about The Whale.
But it is. I mean, I hope you can laugh at a movie you've never seen.
I had a joke that called him Mobility Dick, which I was pretty proud of.
That is actually really fun.
Funny,
that
right?
is really fun.
He's The Whale. God, he's in a mobility scooter.
More of a literary joke than a fat.
Yeah. But yeah, like,
but it is also a fat joke.
That's Jono standing up at the Academy Awards. It's more of a literary joke than it is like a fat joke. You sit down.
Yeah. So, but like realistically, like those like obscure artsy, those kind of movies, like you can't dig too deep into a joke about those anyway. So, if you're gonna do a joke about them, it has to be the most obvious, the only shit that has permeated, like, to the point where I haven't seen it, but I do know this one thing about it. So that would be the thing you'd make fun of, because that would be what the audience would understand too.
Yeah. We are hoping to live there entirely on this show.
Yeah.
What was I about to? I don't know exactly what I wanted.
I've done it 3 times. I did the 85th, the 90th, and the 95th.
Are you ever like? Do you know who you're writing them for?
Well, yeah, the host.
The host. You're not like writing any presenter.
No, you do kind of have to do that at some point, like down the road, and that is always whatever. That's always hit or miss,
Yeah. So host to host is a little bit different, but you just sort of like throwing a ton of out there.
Yeah. You just overwrite. You just like write everything you can think of about.
Is there, and it doesn't have to be Avatar related, something that you were like it went on and it made it on into the show, and you're like, that one crushed.
Oh, yeah, a couple of them. Yeah.
Like, I've done a couple, like, roast things, and I'm, like, distinctly... Because so few of them actually end up making it to the far end of the thing, that then when something makes it and then it, like, does a good job, you're like...
Yeah.
One. You're like, this was a lot of days of my life.
Yeah. I had one that I liked. I liked what it said, too. It was this long, winding... it was a long setup to get there, but it was about Elvis and how this is an interesting story about the filming of Elvis, that when Tom Hanks, who famously collects antique typewriters, got first day on set, he gave Austin Butler, who played Elvis, an antique typewriter. And then in it was a note that he wrote from Colonel Parker, his character in Elvis. And so then Austin took his typewriter and he wrote Tom Hanks back a letter to Colonel Parker as Elvis, and the two of them communicated that way throughout the production, and it was a way for them to rehearse. And that just really goes to show you how silly all of this is. You know what I mean? Just what a stupid fucking... You guys have dumb jobs. This is absolutely stupid. So it was like one of those where it just kind of like built it all up, and it was this long winding, and then just to like
but that's so fun.
Take the pants off it,
and you gotta that's so insane.
Yeah,
and I think that might be the most obscure thing lots of people know about someone is that Tom Hanks collects antique typewriters.
Yeah,
I think my parents know that, and I don't think my parents have seen 5 movies.
Right.
But I think my parents would be like, Tom Hanks really into old typewriters. Like, they'd be watching Storage Wars and be like, Tom Hanks would really like this as a typewriter. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's a cute little quirk of his, I guess. But I there was a joke at the last one, not this one, but the the 2017 ones. There was I really wanted to, because Meryl Streep is nominated or something, and there was a joke about how there's literally only been 3 years since Meryl Streep has started acting where she hasn't been nominated for an Oscar. There's 1 3-year period where she wasn't nominated. And that was when she was doing a stretch for Breaking and Entering. She laughed at it. I thought, and it was like a little homage to my favorite Oscar joke ever, which David Feldman wrote. And years before, it was when Steve Martin hosted. And it was, he goes, incomparable Meryl Streep is here. Just a national treasure, one of our greatest actress, and everybody loves you, Meryl. But I gotta ask you, I've been to your house before. What is with all of the Hitler memorabilia? And it just kind of came so out of nowhere. It just delighted me. Anyway.
I really love that. That's so. She does. I don't know anything about Meryl Streep, the human, but she seems so aware of what it would also be funny surrounding being just so clearly the most decorated actor.
Yeah.
And just seems to have a good time with it. And I appreciate that.
She does seem to have a good sense of humor with that kind of stuff.
Well, hey, we're going to play real quick here. 2 games to wrap things up on the show. Let me see if I can find the... Okay. Nope. There we go. We got too many theme songs on unmarked buttons.
Yeah.
Build a perfect movie.
This game is called Build the Perfect Movie.
Oh.
How this works is you'll be competing against one another.
Okay.
I'll give you a category.
All right.
You have to pick 2 movies from that category whose Rotten Tomatoes score add up to as close to 100 as possible without going over.
Oh.
So think of like Price is Right rules apply. You can't go over 100%.
Okay, so if I pick the goal is to have like a 60-40.
A 60 and a 40, a 50
right,
and a 50, whatever.
yeah.
You'll each pick your first one. I'll give you the scores, so then you can pick your second one accordingly.
Nice.
And wait a minute. So you're going to have to look these up in real time, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have
Be looking them up
answers.
right now.
Got it. Okay, right.
No, I'm going to tell you what movies you're picking, too.
Yeah, well, I was like, am I supposed to guess a specific movie you want me to guess?
Yeah,
like,
no.
all
I'm
right.
popping this thing open here.
Right. Okay, got it.
So I'm going to go ahead. Let's go. You know what we'll do? We'll just do drama. I think that's okay for the first one. A big, vague category. So we'll do Jesse will pick first, then Jono, then we'll review the scores. So I will tell you, for people who have played this, they like the strategy of polarizing. So try and pick a low and pick a high. Or going 50-50 is difficult.
Sounds like it.
So, but it's whenever, think about whatever your first one is, and then let me know.
Okay. I'm going first.
Yes.
Okay. High drama. The Phantom Thread, which I completely forgot was a movie. But then when I was going to come on this, and you were like, I look up some old Oscar jokes here or whatever. Maybe that might come up. I realized that was Daniel Day-Lewis was nominated in 2017. The last time I wrote for the time he did a movie. Was this fucking goofy movie that is like somehow another one I couldn't possibly be bothered to see.
Sure.
Something about him being a troubled tailor or something, I believe. Anyway, I know nothing about this movie.
Okay.
But I wrote jokes about it for the Oscars.
Do you remember any?
I cannot remember any of them.
There
usually Daniel Day-Lewis
jokes
were about just how manically committed he is to being an actor, how absurd that is, Yeah. So, yeah.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Do you ask him when he was on the red carpet, are you wearing yourself?
Are you wearing our patient's thin?
I bet he did sew his own tuxedo for those Oscars.
For that one, probably.
Probably.
It's a real don't break character till you're done with recording the director's commentary.
Yeah. For one of the Oscars, I wrote something about like if Daniel wins, he's going to walk 5 miles through the snow to come up here to something like that. So
I think that it is with like his acting style. If you don't have those results, it's insane. He has those results, and it still feels like a lot. Yeah. It's similar with like what people talk about, like Jeremy Strong and stuff with Succession.
Yeah.
Where like if your results aren't this singular thing,
then nobody would put up with your behavior.
Like Jared Leto should just fucking knock it off.
Right.
Yeah. Don't be such like a temperamental buffoon.
Oh, this
if
movie
you're not
came out on
greatest.
Christmas. All right, Phantom Thread. Jono, your first movie here.
You don't tell me. Okay, all right.
I'll tell you
after,
and that way you can
round.
pick your second one accordingly.
Got it. Okay.
This is a movie I remember hating as a child, so I'm trying to go low here. Bird on a Wire.
I would almost not qualify that as a.
Is it more of an action?
Drama. It's like an action comedy, right?
Is it?
No.
Well,
I remember hating it.
We'll let the internet here decide what genre
it will put it in a.
Well, that's the plot. Now I got to do all this work.
Does
of
Rotten
clicking
Tomatoes
once.
not?
It's an action comedy film.
Damn
Sorry.
it! All right, got it. Start over.
I will let you know it was 25.
Oh wow, that would have been good if I could use it, but I can't.
Yeah, you can't.
Nope.
Oh, you know what? I
let's
forgot that Rotten
do-
Tomatoes does the audience score. I was thinking like critics.
This is only
probably
critics
love-
score.
Oh, only the critics.
Yeah,
score.
yeah, you're doing critics.
Oh,
We're
okay,
doing
so
critics
then I'm
score.
good with what I picked.
Yeah. Otherwise, you might be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Passion of the Christ.
This says this is a musical
Also,
comedy.
action comedy. Strangely.
They really, I like that. You know how Wikipedia like can't use whatever copyright images, blah blah blah. So then Wikipedia should just be like, in what picture do you look like shit? Because when it shows you the cast of the movies here, I'm like, this literally is like, this person will be upset if this is what popped up when you Googled them.
Okay.
Anyways, here we go. Phantom Thread is a 91%.
Wow.
So you're gonna look for a 9 or less.
That's gonna be tough.
That is going to be hard.
Any movie that low is almost not a drama.
I figured
And,
that it was beloved,
Yeah.
but that is more beloved than I expected.
Jono, you with Passion of the Christ, a 49%.
Ooh, good, right in the middle.
49%. I will tell you this: Phantom Thread audience is only a 71. So you had good.
71 is shocking to me.
That's like a 20%
Who the fuck would go see that?
I
What
will say,
fucking person?
I
would
had the
go see
screener
this
of it,
movie?
and I stopped it halfway through. I couldn't get through it.
Oh man,
My favorite part about the screener is seeing my friends' names pop up on screen a few times.
Really?
Just because it's their copy of the screener.
Oh, right.
They're not in the, hey, my friend was in this movie here when it said Danny Jollis across the top of my copy of Babylon. All right, so Jono, you're looking for a 51, so you'll go first. You have the most to make up here. And Jesse, you're brainstorming a 9.
this is gonna be tough.
What was a average drama?
Passion of the Christ.
Is there a sequel to Passion of Christ?
He's working on it. I wish I was joking.
I think he is. I don't remember how good this one is, but I'm gonna go with Dying Young.
Okay. Interesting poll of all of the movies that have ever existed.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a risk, but
All right,
Just thinking
91%.
drama.
We're looking for a 9 or less here.
This is hard. The first one that comes to mind is Babylon. Like that kind of famously fell on its face, but I have to imagine more than 9% of people liked it.
critics.
It's especially, I haven't looked it up or anything, but I'm just like, critics really love movies about making movies.
Yeah, touche. Yes, you're right. That's very up their own ass. So you're right. I should not go with that. Fuck. What's the best way to do this? I'm trying. Like, do I do actor?
famous-
I'm looking at this
famous
is totally
flop.
unrelated, but I'm just looking at the based on section of Passion of the Christ is a real fun area on Wikipedia here.
Okay. Oh no, that's probably
It was a drunken
critics
weekend
probably
Mel
liked it,
Gibson
too.
had.
Is this based on a voicemail?
I was going to say that Willem Dafoe movie where he played. Oh,
Lighthouse.
okay, right. No, where he played Jesus. That
Oh,
one. But
The Last
that
Temptation.
Probably, I bet critics like that too. But I bet critics did not like the Willem Dafoe movie where he hunts the last remaining Tasmanian tiger. I cannot remember what the fuck that's called. Can you just Google
yeah.
Willem Dafoe?
The Hunter.
The Hunter. Okay. See, generic title even.
Yeah, that's hard to remember. All right, here we go.
That is my pick. The Hunter with Willem Dafoe.
Phantom Thread is in. Oh, here we go. Passion of the Christ at 49%. Dying Young is a 25%. So you're at 74,
okay.
74.
Okay.
Phantom
Pretty
Thread,
sure I went over.
91.
Yeah.
The Hunter, 72.
Fuck. People
Wow.
enjoyed that.
72. There are all these different times. I've learned a lot about Rotten Tomatoes trends from this game.
Okay, sure. That's
And
interesting.
there's like a shift that happened around like 2008 where people started. First, there's way more reviews.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Like if
right.
you look up like Pulp Fiction, there's like 60.
Yeah, so the trick would be
But if you look up
pick a movie
like
from
The Hunter,
50s.
there's 7,000.
Wow.
Because
Right.
they don't let critics retroact. Like if you're a new, anyways. You also around 2008, 2010, critics started giving things ratings based on what they thought the movie was trying to do. Versus like through all of history, people were like, "Is this Citizen Kane?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then eventually they're like, "What? Did I have a good time?" So Hunter, pretty good there. All right, we're gonna do a more specific one now. Our second and final build the perfect movie is going to be, you're going to try and build the perfect movie that contains someone who at one point was on Saturday Night Live.
Ooh.
At any point, doesn't have to be the star.
And this is just one movie.
It's still going to be the same
premise,
game, but the category is
limited the
much
pool.
more limited than drama. Is
I enjoy this, by the way. This is a clever game
yeah.
to come up with.
And I will say, we do a version of this game called Discrepancy, which is you have to pick a movie with the biggest gap between audience and critics. Phantom Thread's up there.
Oh, wow.
20's pretty big disagreement.
Yeah. All right. Huh.
So here we go. Jono, you won that last one, so you'll go first here. You're
trying to go for. There's a lot of bombs of like SNL movies, so I'm going to go with like a good The People versus Larry Flint, which has Norm Macdonald.
Oh, wow. That's sneaky what you did.
All right. Yeah, there are a lot of bombs. Not a lot of that start with a 9. Not a lot of 90s with SNL cast members.
Yeah.
Unless you like really mine an Adam McKay success.
Yeah.
All right. Jesse, your first one. Like James Cromwell can't be happy this is the picture I see when I look up The People versus Larry Flint. He's just glued to a Starbucks table.
Oh,
There is some movie where Dennis Miller plays like a DJ, and I cannot fucking remember.
Joe Dirt?
Yeah, he's a radio DJ in Joe Dirt.
It's in Joe Dirt?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's actually also another SNL cast member in that.
Yeah.
Other than
not right.
that's so funny though if you're like Joe Dirt starring SNL alum.
Oh. Does this count that I can't think of the names of these
that's
movies?
fine.
The Dana Carvey one where he does all the multiple characters.
Where he plays a turtle.
He's like a turtle.
Master of Disguise.
That one.
Wow. All right, here we go. The
Yeah,
People
so that's
versus
mine.
Larry Flint is an 88%.
Okay.
Master of Disguise is a 1.
What? Amazing. Amazing.
A 1%.
We should just combine forces and win.
They won't even let me. Over 100 reviews, and it's a 1. Audience 36, pretty big discrepancy there. George Bush is funnier than this movie. That's someone's review.
Which George Bush, though?
George W. Bush, it does say.
All right.
All right, so you have you're looking for a 99 or less.
Okay.
And you'll go first here, Jesse. You have more to,
I think
more
I
to
have a
make
decent
up.
one.
All right.
Okay. Is it Dreamgirls that was the Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah, Showgirls is not the same as Dreamgirls.
Yes.
I do, but Dreamgirls with
No. I worked in a movie theater when I was like 16, and that's when Showgirls came out, and there was such a militant policy that none of the 16-year-old ushers were allowed into the theater.
Oh, yeah,
and we
yeah,
had to try
yeah.
to sneak around
Sneak
the
in to
rules.
see a
They
breast.
actually posted like a scab, like some shithead. With the old usher, they posted him at the door to stop the other ushers.
That's so
and we were,
funny.
exactly. We were all pissed at him.
Oh, wow.
So anyway,
you're thinking
I'm going
Dreamgirls.
with
This is like with
Dreamgirls.
Jennifer Hudson and Beyonce.
Yeah, that's the one that
Eddie
I'm
Murphy.
picking as the 1-2 counterbalance.
Great.
Master of Disguise.
I love Dreamgirls. I'm gonna look it up. I was like, great acting. Yeah. Anyway, all right, here we go. We got 88, looking for a 12 or less.
Bad one. I was thinking Ladies' Man, but I'm going to actually go with Night at the Roxbury,
Okay.
which there's no way critics liked.
All right. I haven't looked it up. I bet Night at the Roxbury has a massive discrepancy.
Oh, yeah. Because
That feels like a movie that
like
could have a 50% difference
Yeah,
between
yeah,
what the
yeah.
critic.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. The Master of Disguise is a 1. Let me do the math here. Dreamgirls is a 79, so that puts you right at 80.
80, good.
Right
All
at
right.
80. Almost.
Okay, that's respectable.
Some of the easier math.
What did you win on the last one? What was your number on the last one?
84.
Oh, okay. So that's not that
74.
great. 70.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
all right,
it
all
was
right.
right, yeah.
It's like a
74.
49 and a 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
People versus Larry Flint is an 88. Night at the Roxbury, 11. That's a 99%.
What the fuck?
Am I
That's
the best
How did
who's
you do
ever
that?
played?
Wow. That's
My
pretty amazing.
God.
I think one time we've had a perfect 100 from Rob Hayes. And other than that, this is about as good as it gets.
That's incredible.
Let's guess.
I was sure.
Give me
was
a
very
number for
confident.
the discrepancy on Night at the Roxbury. What you think that it's an 11%
The
critic
range?
score?
Like the middle range.
I would say it's probably
Audience
like,
is 11. How much higher? I'm going to tell you.
You mean
It's-
critics are 11.
critics are 11. How much higher do you think audience is?
I bet audiences are like at 45.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say north of 50.
69.
Oh my god!
Which maybe was just a prank they played on the actual rating.
That's really funny.
That is a massive discrepancy, and I think the audience is closer.
Yeah, because I would put it around 50. Like if I was rating it, I was like, yeah, it's fine.
Just to satisfy my own curiosity, there is a second Dana Carvey movie where he plays a private detective,
And it's a drama,
and
right?
he has amnesia.
Clean Slate.
That's right.
Clean Slate. What is that?
That's
one?
a
I bet
great
that's
title
also
for a movie
low.
about a detective with amnesia, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, this movie isn't famous enough to have Rotten Tomatoes pop right up when you look it up.
Oh, okay.
So let me see. Clean Slate, Rotten Tomatoes,
I bet it's also low.
19.
Okay.
Pretty low. James Earl Jones is in it.
I
So
could have
James Earl
had a
Jones-
fucking 98 if I'd gone with that one.
James Earl Jones puts you at least 15 just for being
Yeah,
in it.
in the movie.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Well, hey, there we go. That's it for us today, Jesse. Thank you for being here.
Oh man,
Thanks
this
for
is a delight. This is
having
very
never seen
fun.
Avatar.
Yeah, sure, of course. No, it's my pleasure. I'll continue to not see it for the rest of my life.
Tell everyone about the book. Tell everyone where to find you. Anything you'd
I
like.
won't see the next one when it comes out 35 years from now either.
Come back on the podcast and start with exterior, as I was saying.
So I wrote a book called "Killing the Guys Who Killed the Guy Who Killed Lincoln," a nutty story about Edwin Booth and Boston Corbett, and it's a hilarious comedy set during the Lincoln assassination. It's a true story about the Mad Hatter who castrated himself with a pair of scissors and then hunted down John Wilkes Booth and put a bullet in his head and killed him. That's how John Wilkes Booth died. That's a true story.
Insane.
And Edwin Booth, who was John's way more famous brother, who was nobody remembers anymore because his brother killed the president.
He was a real Alec to Stephen situation going on.
Alec to Daniel, I'd even say.
Yeah.
Like more
Yeah.
like he John was a nobody. Like John was a shitty
It just goes to show you, you're only one thing away from fame.
but even more so, their dad was very famous. Their dad was a super famous actor, Junius Brutus Booth, and then Edwin took the mantle from him and became even more famous. And then meanwhile, there's just John, who just sucks, and he's just an angry, and he's jealous and whatever.
Yeah.
And fascinatingly, it's kind of Edwin's fault in a way because John. Edwin was like, I don't want you fucking up the family name, right? Because the dad was famous and now he's famous. So it's like, we can't have this shitty Booth junking up the stage.
Right.
Cancel culture killed Lincoln, is what you're saying.
It was right before the Civil War started, and he banished John to the South. He's like, I'm going to take all the cool cities. I'm going to perform in New York and Boston and LA and Chicago, or in Chicago. LA didn't exist. New York and Boston and Chicago and Philadelphia. And you can go and do like the... like
meet those people and see
sanctuaries.
what they think about stuff.
Exactly.
down there.
And so he just spent all his evenings going to bars and just like talking to people who like hated the North.
It's like if Emilio Estevez made Charlie Sheen only do 4chan videos.
yeah, right.
Going all the edgelord podcasts.
That is
so
wild.
it's kind of Edwin's fault in a way. A little bit.
Nepotism has been affecting this country.
Yeah.
We'll check it out. We'll have a
But it's
link.
a real hoot.
Some stuff about it. Yeah.
It's a Scribd original. Scribd is a service like Netflix for books, right? Where you can you get a subscription, you can read millions of books that they have at their disposal. But with this link that you're going to give them, you get 2 free months. So you could just read it for free.
Can you read a book in 2 months?
Oh, dude, it's a shortish book. There's also an audiobook, so you can listen to me read it.
I suggest I would listen to the audiobook. Jesse reads
thanks,
it.
Jono.
It's very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And
John, you didn't win the game by enough points to plug anything, but thank you.
It's cool. I mean, he won.
No,
and
yeah.
he
I'm
plugging
still plugged
Jesse's
my
book,
thing,
too.
which was nice.
Yeah, we'll have a link there so you can get 2 free months and go check it out.
Thank you.
And,
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for being here. Jono, thank you for being here as well. Anything you want to let people know about?
So my fantasy team's doing really well. Check it out. Join my
Formula One?
Yeah. No, at Jono Zalay on all social media and stuff. I got stuff going on. Check out my stand-up at some point.
He's very funny, Jono.
Thank you guys so much. We'll have a link, like I said, in the description of the podcast for Scribd. Also on the Discord, if you want to check out the Discord. Big old message board for fans of the show. Go to fart.kyleayers.com. It'll give you a link there. I wasn't buying a whole nother URL. But thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.